Greg Bedard is brought to you by the Best Ford in Nashua. Looking for great deals on new Fords? Go to the Best Ford in Nashua, on the web at thebestford.com. Mazz and Murray alongside as well from our Town for Tire Studios. Hi, guys.
Good, you.
Hello. How do you feel about that sentiment? We let Drake Maye down.
Boy, we're going to start with that, huh?
Yeah, let's start with it.
Okay. So I heard it, and it bothered me in the aftermath, and I couldn't figure out why. It didn't sit well with me, and I've thought about it some more, and I think what bothers me about it is, so the Patriots now are just going to be all about Drake Maye and making him comfortable and not criticizing him, not holding him to account. It's just going to be, they're just going to be like any other team. They're going to be like the Jets who, talk up Zach Wilson and don't talk about, some of his issues. And it's just the first game, so I don't want to overreact to it. But that was my reaction, that I'm just like,
just cater and suck up to the quarterback.
Right. It's like a complete 180 from Bill. Like, we all know Bill, never said anything nice about Tom Brady, and he was the greatest of all time. We all know what went on with Mac Jones, and now all of a sudden Drake Maye starts one game, he turns the ball over 3 times, and the team let Drake Maye down? That's what we're going to do to start? This is the way it's going to go? So, look, again, I don't want to overreact. It's just one game.
I will.
But that's how it made me feel.
Yeah, well, so it's like, it's just, from 0 to 60, as a rookie who's done nothing, all of a sudden it's, we are secondary to this guy. And anything that goes wrong is not his fault, it's our fault. It's already started.
Yep.
He hasn't even done anything. And it's like that mentality is already there. So I can feel that. How do you think he played, Greg? How do you think Drake Maye played in his first game?
I would say, look, and I will readily admit, I am not a curve guy. I am not a factor in the Texans and the spot. I just grade each play in terms of, could he have done something different? Was it a good throw? Was it a good decision? Did he hold on to the ball too long? I don't look at any external factors.
You are truly unbiased.
That's what I try to do.
Why are we laughing? Go.
I will say, if you're asking me to put a grade on it, I would say C-. I thought he did. Look, he went in. He made plays. He certainly did that, and I'm sure fans are looking at that and being like, finally. I mean, he was responsible for some explosive plays, which it's been years since this offense has had explosive plays, and he did it in the air and on the ground, which is exactly what you're looking for, and quite frankly, it's what we expected of him. That's who he is. He's a playmaker. But, he also, if you look at it in totality, up until the last drive of the first half, pretty shaky first half. There was a lot of typical rookie stuff, not seeing the field, looking at the rush a little bit, decision-making questionable, leaving the pocket before he lets anything develop, that sort of thing. And then until the last drive of the third quarter, same sort of thing to start the second half. So a bulk of the game, I would say like half the game, he was not effective. But he had spurts, and he made plays, and before the end of the first half was great. I thought he did some things in quote-unquote garbage time, in the fourth quarter, which was really good. I thought from that drive, the last drive of the third quarter to the end of the game, he was a winning player in that stretch. So that's something to build off of going into the Jaguars game. But overall, he made a lot of plays. There's also a lot of stuff that he's going to learn from this game.
How many positive plays on the day? How many negative plays, please?
I had 11 positive plays, and I had 17 negative plays.
Whoa!
-6.
-6. Hence the C-.
Stu, what did you have?
Well, after reevaluating the film, I had him for 20 plays, 20 positive plays after having him for 30 originally, and I had him for 4 negative plays.
Well, that's fair.
Plus 16. Feels like there's quite a discrepancy there.
That is. That's a gap.
I'm right, as usual.
This is like the election.
So Here's my
You're
problem.
interfering with me, Maz.
Let me just point out. I will say that May's 11+ plays were tied for the second most since I started keeping track of this stuff, going back to Mac Jones's rookie year. Mac Jones had the most since Mac Jones had the most, 12 in the 2023 season opener against the Eagles. So, that's really good. I mean, he's making plays. But he also had the most minus plays that I've ever recorded in that time.
So most ever. Most ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So what do you see on those negative plays, Greg?
Well, I mean, there's something different all the time, but I gave him partial responsibility on all 4 sacks. I thought that he could have done things differently. There was obviously the interception. The tipped interception. I did not put any of that on May. That's Zach Thomas, the left tackle, is supposed to cut the end. There's also something very funky about that play design with the back coming out of the backfield. You don't see that very often at all. The accuracy issues were there. There were times that he, left the pocket early. So it was a little bit of everything, but, turning the ball over and taking sacks that I didn't think needed to be taken. The strip sack fumble, he had 2 guys open on the play, and that pressure's coming from his front side. He has to sense that. And if he gets sacked, okay, fine. But, you can't give up the ball there.
Did he do anything consistently well?
Come on, big boy.
No, I mean, no, not really consistently well. And my other big takeaway from this is, we all heard about the plan, and Drake Maye needed to do this, and they needed to take it slow, and all this stuff. The Drake Maye that we saw on Sunday, to me, was largely the same guy that we saw in UNC. It's the guy we saw in the preseason. And if this was going to be the end result, they just should have started him week 1. I don't see a real, you could tell his footwork was sloppy at times again. His accuracy issues, which have always been there, were again there in this game. So it's not like they cleaned that stuff up. I mean, is he playing more on time than he did in college? Yeah, maybe, but that's something that you can work on. I saw him make progress with that in training camp. So the guy that ended training camp in the preseason, to me, was not all that different than the guy we saw out there on Sunday.
He nor they are any more ready than they were to start the year. They're probably less. At least they are. I don't know. I felt they were ready to go to start the year.
I mean, the defense has gotten worse, too. If you're talking just about the offense, I don't know that that's changed much.
I mean, if it's possible, the offensive line has gotten worse. I mean, it has. Not through their doing necessarily. I mean, they have no depth, obviously. But the offensive line is worse. I mean, I think the team was more ready to go week 1 than they were this past week. So they're not any more ready to go. And Drake Maye is, I mean, again, I think Greg's right. It's just there's the snapshot that you saw in this game, you could just see by watching a couple North Carolina games. A couple of throws that, take your breath away, and then missed wide open in cuts, the next drive. And sacks. And, him running around. So it's I don't know if you've seen anything different. Are they really fitting him into their system? I mean, whether you want them to or not is a different question. But, did you see him running the West Coast offense?
A little bit. I don't think they really changed the. That was one of the surprising things in this game. I don't think they did as much to make this about Drake. I thought they sort of fit him into their system, including they got him under center at times. Of course, there was a nearly drop snap by Drake Maye, which you sort of get all the time with him. So I thought that they didn't really. I would have liked to have seen them build it around Drake. I did not like. We heard Mayo talk about, the 15-play script, I think, leading into the game. I did not like the 15-play script. I mean, they should have had certain check marks to get him into the game. We're going to, okay, fine, we're going to run, and Drake might have checked into the second run, but we're going to make sure he throws a bubble, There's a defined read on this one. There's going to be a design quarterback run, which we saw none of, just to get him into the game. And I thought they fell short on all that.
When you overall coming out of that game, like most people chose to just sort of accentuate the good plays by May and feel good about that, which of course is your right. As a fan, you can do whatever you want. But I think that's how most people approached it. I didn't quite have that. I get the sense you didn't quite have that. Like, what was your overall feeling coming out of that game, Greg?
My overall feeling is nothing has really changed with this team. The same fundamental problems, the lack of discipline in their play, the issues on defense. There were more issues on special teams. Another, short punt that leads to a short field and a touchdown. There are mistakes. They are getting If the Bengals game was sort of the Picasso for Drake Maye and his coaching staff, to me, it's getting worse every week. And to me, that's the most alarming thing, that if the other areas of this team aren't making progress, and we should, we're through 6 games. We're through the quote-unquote extended preseason. We should start to see the imprint of the coaches about things being dialed up and, them doing the right things. And to me, it's getting worse every week. And, you hear Gerard after the game, he's frustrated. Like, you're the head coach. Like, who else is going to fix it? Do you think it's just going to happen out of thin air? Like, I just think it's gotten worse every week. And I think that Drake Maye, some of his, wow plays just sort of distract everybody from that, the underlying issues with this team.
It's exactly where I didn't want to be as a fan or a follower of the team. Like the precise thing where season's over. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. I'm not supposed to care if they win or lose. And so it really doesn't matter what mistakes Drake Maye makes. It's just about the fluff of the couple plays that he does make.
Yep.
And you just sort of, like, I have just no use for that spot. And you know what that is? That means you're a real, true loser.
They are.
Yeah, I've accepted that. So it's a sugar high. I'll take that sugar high.
Yeah, give me the excitement. Give me energy.
Yep.
I get no energy.
Entertain me.
I get none of it out of it. None of it. The games don't matter. So they're all just sort of glorified exhibitions.
Yep, pretty much.
Glorified, preseason games.
Highlight reels
And I just...
for May.
And that's what this game sort of felt like. I told you yesterday, after they made it 14-0, I felt like, for all intents and purposes, the rest of the game was garbage time. Plastic. So there's no real pressure on Drake Maye. There's no pressure on him to do the right thing, avoid mistakes, learn how to play. Because you're not going to hold him accountable as a fan. I guess the media's not going to hold him accountable because the media just wants to play along with what the fans want.
And the coaching staff is nice to them.
And the coaching staff is now just worried about supporting a kid who just got here who's done exactly nothing. So, like, the coach is already apologizing to the rookie quarterback who threw 2 interceptions, fumbled once, and took 4 sacks. It's like, what a loser spot you are in. Losers. You're just going to lose every week. You're not going to care. You're not going to hold the quarterback. You're not going to focus on all the mistakes he makes that helps you lose. You're just going to, just try and focus on those couple of throws that he made. Say, oh, here we go. At 1-5 on the way to 1-6 on the way to 2-15. And just ignore all the things. Talk about a way to invite a player to fall into some bad habits. Like, is there a better recipe for a player falling into bad habits than that?
Nope.
Drake Maye can do whatever he wants from here to the end of the year. He can just jack around out there, makes no difference, throw all the picks that he wants, put the ball on the ground, make bad decisions, just so he has those 3 or 4 throws where you can all go, wee, look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, fun bet. I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
It's a recipe for disaster, if you ask me.
It's kind of sad.
It is.
They're sad. They suck. But at least they'll be fun and sucky now instead of sucky.
But they'll be fun.
I didn't find it fun.
So when you say on their way to 2-15, who's the other win against?
Jacksonville this Sunday. Let's go.
I'm not so sure about that. Might be a Mac Jones revenge game.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.